Hi guys, this is TaviaSobi, and today I am making a quick return to Monster Hunter World in order to do some Arc-Tempered Zorah Magdaros stuff. Yes, stuff. Arc-Tempered Zorah Magdaros stuff. That's what it's officially called. Because I'm terrible with words. Yes, I haven't been playing Monster Hunter World as much as I used to these last couple of months, mainly because I'm trying to catch up with this backlog of all these other games that I have to review. I still get back to the game when they have special events. No surprise, the only exception is Arc-Tempered Kushaladora. Because I hate that guy. I hate him. Yeah, the next time I do Arc-Tempered Kushala, I'll probably have to do that solo, because I tried doing it as part of a group a few times and it did not end well. But I still like Monster Hunter World. It's still my favorite game of the year so far. Still try to get back when I can, and so this Arc-Tempered Zorah Magdaros stuff looks like a pretty good opportunity to dust off the cobwebs. So yeah, here are some quick tips as far as how to beat Arc-Tempered Zorah Magdaros. First, let's go through the prep. So the majority of the hunts I did I just pretty much grabbed my behemoth set, grabbed my lands, and then went to town. Yeah, and it still worked pretty well, but if you sort of want to make things a bit more efficient, then some prep is actually good to do. These are all optional, but yeah, here are some of them. So, number one, if you can, you definitely want to have heavy artillery as one of your skills, because it helps increase the firepower of all the heavy equipment you use. So that includes cannonballs, which would be the main source of damage towards the later phase of the fight. So level 1 you get 10% extra damage, level 2 you get 20%. It's like for every 5 attacks you do, it's like you get 1 free one. The other skill that a lot of folks seem to like using is Pro Transporter, but for me I really don't use it. You can actually roll now in this game while you're carrying cannonballs, so that's what I pretty much do. Most of the time, the cannons are actually pretty close to where you get the cannonballs from, with a few exceptions. Yeah, so if there's a certain skill in your armor set that you don't want to take out just to get Pro Transporter in, not a huge deal. This is especially true in the first phase of the fight, where you maybe want to have more attack or more affinity when you're attacking the Magma Cores or Nergigante, and even through the final phase if you decide to climb atop of Zorah Magdaros. I almost said mount. Well, I guess technically it is a mount, but you just climb on top of him. When you climb on top of him towards the final phase, you can actually do damage with your weapon as well. So yeah, so maybe you want to keep some of the attack boosting skills that you got. Pro Transporter, good to have, but you don't have to force yourself to squeeze it in, especially if you want to keep some other skills that you think are more important. Yeah, so the other thing you want to consider is maybe bring a weapon that Zorah Magdaros is weak against. So usually that would be Dragon or Water, which he has a 3-star weakness against. If you use Dragon, then you get the 2 birds with 1 stone effect of also doing good damage against Nergigante. Nergigante. Otherwise, what I do is I just bring a non-elemental weapon with the non-elemental boost skill set activated. That's fine. As far as equips, like you can bring the Temporal Mantle, which is always good, particularly for the Nergigante fight. And then for your second one, maybe bring a health booster. Just use your health booster in the general vicinity when you're attacking the Magma Cores. It is especially good if you, or one of your teammates, forgets to bring a cold drink, for example. The health booster can basically make up for the health loss if you don't have cold drinks. Also, it can help heal you when you sustain damage, or even save you from fainting if you get hit real hard by the lava attack. One extra tip, when you do destroy the Magma Core, don't just let your guard down, because sometimes it'll spew out one last volley of lava before it dies down. So just watch out for that. One of the more important tips as far as prep though is to make sure that you have good fire resistance in your armor, because pretty much the Magma Cores and well everything does extra damage as far as the Arc-Tempered Zorah Magdaros hunt. So you really don't want to have super negative numbers for fire resistance. So you can either do that as part of your armor. Otherwise, if you don't want to sacrifice other skills, just eat a veggie platter before the hunt, and that usually gets you up to positive. That would be the veggie platter that comes with a huge hunk of meat. Because Meowscooler Chef is going to do what Meowscooler Chef wants to do. Like put a big slab of animal protein in a veggie platter. Gains, baby! Yeah, so as far as the actual hunt itself, if you've done the Zorah Magdaros hunt before, the regular one, the basics are pretty much the same. There are some key differences that you'll want to think about, however, in order to make sure that the hunt goes much smoother, or that you're prepared for it. So, number one, the magma cores fire more often. That was the first thing that kind of surprised me when I was playing the hunt the first time, was because I tried hitting the magma cores expecting the same timing, and then all of a sudden the next attack came up pretty quick, and I got hit. When I'm lancing, for example, usually it's safe to get about 6 thrusts in. Sometimes I can even get 9 thrusts in, depending on how things are going. The magma cores also do more damage, significantly more damage than the non-arc tempered hunt. So you want to keep that in mind, try not to get hit. If you are using a melee weapon, either make sure you block or step back so you don't get hit. Otherwise, if you're using a ranged weapon, I seem to notice that ranged weapons are really popular in this hunt, then you have a little bit more leeway. Another difference is that you have to repel Nergigante this time. In the normal hunt, you can kind of just, patsy around, pick your nose, and just wait for him to leave. Now, if you're in the process of taking down either the first magma core or the second magma core, and they say, "Oh, Nergigante is upon us," you can still keep on destroying the magma core you're working on, and then go to Nergigante. Like, don't go to Nergigante and then go all the way back to the magma core. Also, you want to make sure to really pay attention to when he does his super attack or his super breath, because it can do pretty good damage on the walls, so you want to be on top of that and make sure that you cancel it. Now, you have several options in terms of canceling the super fire breath that he does. One, of course, is to use a ballista binder, so you can get some up top on the walls on the very far right. There's one case there where you can get it. There's also another spot for harvesting it when you go down the ship. It's right before the Dragonator. One weird thing I've noticed about the ballista binders too is there was one point when we've obviously ran out of binders, and for some reason the NPCs still managed to shoot binders on their own. And I don't specifically know what triggers it. I've heard some people say that as long as there's a player down in the ship, they'll do it, but I'm not sure. So that's another sort of security blanket that you've got in case you don't have binders anymore and you've used all of them, or if you're just kind of far away from one of the crossbows and can't get to it in time to shoot a binder. A second way that you can cancel the attack, of course, is by using the Dragonator. The only caveat with the Dragonator is that you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons as far as using it to cancel the fire breath, especially the first one, because the first one you usually want to use it right away, because what that does is it makes a second Dragonator available to you later on in case the hunt goes a little bit too long. So that's fine. The second one, maybe then you have a bit more leeway as far as using it to cancel the super fire breath. Another way to cancel the fire breath is to make sure that Zorah Magdaros doesn't use it in the first place. So the way you do that is you wait for him to do this sort of lunging attack against the wall where he lowers his head, and once the head is lowered, you can actually climb atop his head and then wait for him to rear it up so you can hit the fourth magma core on his snout. Now, as far as destroying that fourth magma core, usually it takes me 2 attempts, and by that I mean 2 times jumping on him. See, what usually happens is when you're up there, eventually he'll rear up and do another super fire breath. And when that happens, you're going to get shaken off and then you're going to drop down. So with my non-elemental lance, it usually takes me 2 attempts to get up there and then destroy it. And the good thing about it is once you destroy it, it lowers his power, and so he can't do that super fire breath that he does. The only thing to think about is I haven't figured out a way to climb down after you've destroyed the magma core, but I realized that while you're on top of his head, you can actually still continue to attack him. So I just started attacking him, and so that's one of the reasons why maybe you want to keep some of your attack skills or critical skills in place, because then it helps you do damage while you're trying to poke or prod his head. By the way, just keep in mind that when you destroy that fourth magma core on his snout, it's not permanently destroyed. Eventually, it will regenerate. So it depends. It's up to you whether you want to go up there again and try to destroy it. If you do destroy it, no fire breath, so pretty much the only thing you have to worry about is time. Anyway, the time limit is 25 minutes, which is actually more than enough time, but it can also go pretty fast when things aren't going well. So other than that, it's pretty much the same fight. You still want to destroy the initial magma cores when you can. And then, of course, the difference, you gotta repel Nergigante, and then after you get to the last phase, just start peppering him with cannonballs. Normally you want to have people on top and then people down the ship. The ship is a really good spot because you have 3 cannons. 2 of them always gets refilled by the NPCs, and then there's an empty middle one. So you can either help the NPCs or just fill the middle one. And then once the other 2 are filled by the NPCs, then just shoot those, because you kind of get like free cannonballs when they do that. The rightmost cannon is a bit of a pain though, because while you're getting the cannonballs for it, it's easy to overshoot and then fall down that little gap in the ship, and so you have to kind of run a bit around, which is a bit of a pain. But other than that, it's a really good spot for just hitting him, and also having access to the Dragonator when it's available. And there's a binder there too, so you can bind. And also the cannonballs are pretty close to the cannons, so even if you don't have Pro Transporter, it's like an easy like roll or even just like a little trot away. At the same time, it's also good to still have people up top. Like when you're up top, you can go up his snout and then hit that 4th magma core. And also there's some NPCs loading cannonballs there too, so it's like free cannonballs. So you always want to be able to use the free cannonballs. Free damage is never bad. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. As always, feel free to leave any thoughts or questions in the comment section. Once again, this is Tabia Sobi, and thank you for watching.